Good morning, and welcome to the final installment of Lighting Systems 2010 second season. Today we have with us from Cerno, National Sales Manager Shannon Guinn. Cerno has recently acquired the exceptional glassblowing studio, Siemon Salazar, to expand their capabilities. Shannon's going to walk us through their offerings. Please enter any questions you have in the chat, and we will address them at the end of the presentation. If you would like to schedule a follow-up with Shannon, please reach out to your Lighting Systems representative. Take it away, Shannon.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you everyone for joining us this morning. Yes, I'm excited to talk about the new acquisition with Siemon Salazar. So for those of you who are not familiar with Cerno, Cerno is a decorative and an architectural lighting company based in Southern California. We're halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego. And the company was founded by these three childhood friends who grew up in Laguna Beach, surfer guys. Even at a young age, they always found a passion for designing and building things. And when they launched their company 15 years ago, they started out in a 500 square foot studio, and they wanted to remain vertically integrated from the beginning. And here we are 14 years later in a 23,000 square foot facility, which is completely occupied by Cerno, Rhode, and now Siemon Salazar. So when you visit cernogroup.com, you'll see that we have Cerno Decorative, Cerno Architectural, Rhode, which is our fine art picture light, and Siemon Salazar. Today we're going to be talking about Siemon Salazar. So Caleb and Carmen, they're husband and wife. They've been married for about 20 years. Caleb is actually the son of a jeweler, and he was always helping his father, and he was working with his hands, and he fell in love with glass at the age of 17. And after high school, he went off to Rhode Island School of Design, which is where he met his wife, Carmen, who was there studying welding and sculpting. And after college, Caleb decided that he wanted to go out to Murano, and he was searching out the best glassblower over there. And unfortunately, the best glassblower that was over there was always traveling. So he actually found the best glass sculptor, Pino Signoretto. And the story's pretty funny. He actually sat on this gentleman's studio doorstep for 2 months and was ignored. And finally, Pino allowed him to come into his studio and apprint for 2 years just by sight and his notes only. So for 2 years, he took notes and paid close attention to exactly what was happening. And then in 2019, he moved back to Southern California and started his own glass blowing studio. And this is their original studio in Costa Mesa. Caleb has kind of built a name for himself. They've been blowing glass since 1999, and some of his vessels are featured in art museums all across the world. So they do have vessels, but what we're going to be focusing on is their lighting. So with the lighting, they have chandeliers, pendants, wall sconces, flush mounts. Within their pendant series, there's 7 collections. And within these 7 collections, most of these fixtures will be offered in a variety of sizes and a variety of colors. Since all of these fixtures are made to order, it's going to be very easy for us to do modifications. A lot of questions have come up if we can do larger sizes. If a fixture is shown in a particular color, can we do an alternate color? We will have those capabilities. But I'm going to take you through some of my favorite fixtures first, and then we'll finish up with some of the others. But I've been on the road for about 3 or 4 months now with the Siemon Salazar sample case, and this fixture is obviously getting the most attention because of the pattern that it's throwing on the wall. This is the Happy, which is the low voltage version. It's the smaller version, and it takes a G4 bipin halogen. Engineering right now is starting to experiment with some other LED options. So we're in the works for looking for that. This is our restroom in our showroom. We just recently installed a blue happy pendant. So this is not Photoshop. This is real images. And then here's a happy installation using a multi-port canopy as well as some monopoints. And then the larger version is a little bit larger than the smaller happy, and this is using an E12 base lamp. And a funny story about how the happy pendant came to be. Caleb said he came to work one day, he was feeling really grouchy, so he actually took this iron pipe and started just banging this glass. And once he was finished with it, he put a light source in it, and the effect that it had made him happy. And so that's how the name Happy came to be. Another one of my favorite fixtures is the Cumulo. This is a 6-inch high fixture where each of these individual domes or globs of glass is put on individually and then blown separately. So it comes in 3 different colors. We can also do some custom colors. Then we have the banded orb collection. This is the Borrego, which I think reminds me of the sunset. The cranberry, which has a lot of reds and oranges. The amber. Aqua. Now, typically when we're making fixtures, they are made to order. But for example, if you were to place an order for 5 fixtures, we're going to actually make 7 because we want to make sure that before we pack them up, we're going to line them up and make sure that they all, not to say match perfectly, but to make sure that they all look like they match. This is the Wabi. There's the short version as well as the tall version. Most recently, I quoted in a 14-inch scale with an amber glass. And then I noticed in this application shot that these fixtures were ordered with just an extra long cord. So we can do swag options on these pendants as well. Here's a Wabi with a clear glass. Another Wabi on the side of the bed. And then we get into the bubble series. And the bubble series, there's a variety of sizes and shapes, low voltage, line voltage. And then when we're doing the bubbles and we're doing the color, we're always putting them in the middle layer. So there's 3 layers of glass, clear on the inside and clear on the outer. And get my slide to go to the next. There we go. So here we have the bubble, the large cone. A lot of the bubble pendants are available in clear as well as color. The large ellipse. And then we get into the Latimo. The Latimo pendant, there's actually 4 different shapes. On this collection, you're going to have white glass on the upper portion and cream on the lower, and then you'll have that band of clear glass, which these can all kind of be joined together in a multi-port canopy with the different shapes. The barnacle. And one thing that Caleb's known for is the thickness of his glass. And this is one of the fixtures that I like to pass around because it shows that you can really feel the thickness. But the barnacle, it's another collection where there's going to be several sizes, several shapes, low voltage, and line voltage. They're all going to come standard and clear, but we can also do some modifications in custom colors. So when we're using low voltage, we're going to use your typical free jack where you have your driver that's integrated into the canopy. With our line voltage fixtures, we either use a rigid stem, a cable suspension, or we have a really nice chain link that we offer. With our sconces, we're utilizing the same glass that we're using in our pendants, but with the sconces, what you're going to do is pick your back plate, pick your finish, pick the glass, and then you can determine on site if you want it in an upward or a downward position. And a lot of these sconces throw this beautiful light pattern on the wall. This is one of the displays that I had come across. And then I also found on the website that they have this small little bracket that cantilevers the pendant a little bit off the wall. The iris sconce and ceiling mount, when we first got the iris fixture, it was only offered in one size. Now we're offering it in 3 sizes. This is all of the Siemon Salazar fixtures are hand blown. This collection is actually formed on the outer side of a walk. So they're placing the hot glass on the back side of the walk, and as the glass is cooling, they take these sticks and start creating those lines in the glass. And then you have this integrated LED that's bouncing light off the glass, creating that beautiful reflection onto the wall or ceiling. And then the moonlight ceiling mount or wall sconce, you have this threaded piece of glass that screws onto the back plate using an integrated LED. And then we get into chandeliers. I think the chandeliers are probably the most popular collection in the line. And we made it easier for you. We created a spec sheet so you can basically build your custom chandelier. You can determine if you want 2, 4, 6, or 8 lights. You determine the width on the spacing. You determine the overall drop. You select your glass. You select the cording and also your metal finish on the canopy. And then you design your own custom chandelier. We do have some chandeliers that we can incorporate wood into the fixture as well. And then multi-port canopies. We will have some standard multi-port canopies available. This is a 2-foot square. We have a 20-inch round. Some more round canopies. Now, when we're doing multi-port canopies, unfortunately, we cannot mix the low voltage with the line voltage. It's going to have to be one or the other. And then this is a beautiful application showing the brass chain link, which almost looks like jewelry. I think probably was inspired by jewelry. And now that we have 4 or 5 engineers on staff at the factory, we will be able to do some customizations on the canopies and the suspensions on this. For example, this is a skylight where they actually had to build a metal structure that was bringing power to those pendants. And then these are some custom canopies using rigid stems. We will be able to do some custom finishing on the metal as well. When you get some spare time, you can always go to the Siemon Salazar website, and under the About section, there are some great links to some YouTube videos. The one with Conan O'Brien, that one was pretty funny. And he's also done a time-lapse video making that Cumulo fixture. It's only about 1.5 minutes, but it'll quickly take you through that process. And if and when you're ever down in Southern California, we would love to have you down at the factory. Last week, we had 50 designers into the factory for a glass blowing tour, and they were all in complete awe. Our lead time on the glass is 2 to 4 weeks, and we look forward to working with you. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Shannon, for that excellent presentation.
Thank you, Thomas.
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat right now, but I was wondering about the LED options that you're looking at. Are you looking for dedicated LED?
So on the line voltage, yes. We engineering showed me some mock-ups last week of some dedicated LEDs that they're working on. The bipin, we have found a really good LED bipin that we've been using. It's from Satco, but I'm sure there's others out there that you can find.
Yeah, we're
And
more than happy to help find the lamps and source those, especially for your JA8 projects. If you're not familiar with JA8, for these types of products, all we need to do is provide a JA8 approved lamp. So reach out to your lighting systems representative, and we will help you source those. Right. Is there any other questions in the chat? Not seeing anything today, so we're going to wrap up a little bit early. Thank you all for attending today. Oh, hold on just a second. What do lead times look like on the custom glass?
I would say custom. It depends on what the customization is, but I can't imagine it going over 4 to 5 weeks.
Okay, great. And those are shipping out of Southern California. So
those are shipping out of Aliso Viejo.
Great. So pretty short lead time for a custom product. That's excellent.
Absolutely. And if you're in a time crunch and you need something in 2 weeks, we can obviously get that done.
Incredible. All right. Well, thank you all for attending today. Please join us next month as we kick off our 3rd season with Aaron Lighting. And don't miss our Light and Libation show next Wednesday in Berkeley and Thursday in San Jose. Registration links can be found on our homepage. Thanks again, everyone, for attending, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, guys.